Hello, BC. How's it going tonight? It's kind of late here, for me anyway. It's like 10:15. Just got back from the store from a long day. Didn't sleep very much last night, but just wanted to report in. I had a pretty decent dig session Friday. We're not talking like a monster, bring home half a store kind of dig, but I did find some cool stuff that I've been looking for a while. I don't really know. I guess first things first, tonight, if you can see, I am listening to Mr. Derek's wonderful Flyover album that came to me last Friday. I'm finally now being able to enjoy it again. My sinus troubles cleared up. My ear popped finally, and it was excruciatingly painful, and I passed out for like 2 seconds. But now that I can actually listen to it, it's very good. I was really excited to get it ordered, and I actually told Derek that I was very surprised at what I was hearing because, as you all know, Derek, he's very quiet and humble and very peaceful sort of fellow, and you put this record on, and all of a sudden you hear this, it's very aggressive music, and it was very surprising, and I really like that side. I think it's very cool. It's like he stores up everything that that is going against him and just kind of releases it into music, which is ultimately what most musicians do. But I think this time, in this case, it was very successful. I know he's very happy with it, and I can really hear why. It really is a phenomenal record. I've got some listening parties planned here for a local VC coming up that I'm really looking forward to sharing this album with them and see what they think. I know I like it. I know it's also not something that a lot of people would enjoy, but yeah, hopefully some will, and we can get Derek some more fans. I'm actually looking forward to getting some more of his stuff in the future. But right now I really enjoy this. So thanks, Derek, for the prompt service and the autograph sleeve. It's over there. I'm not going to go get it because I'm lazy. It's been a long day. Other VC news. I never replied to the overwhelming thanks to Hussa for the VCLT I sent him. I watch the video frequently, and it just cracks me up every time that his son comes in the room while he's doing it. I keep waiting for one of those moments to happen with me, but that's why I make sure my kids. I do my videos late at night, so I know my kids are asleep. Because if they come in here, it'll be absolute pandemonium. Because it won't just be one; it'll be like all three of them, and they get a little crazy. Anyway, Hussa, it was my pleasure to send that to you. I'm really glad you enjoy it, and I really hope that you share it with the kids, because music is something that we need to pass along to the future generations. It doesn't matter what kind of music it is, as long as it's music, as long as we can share it, because today's music is not really that. I don't know. Most of today's music really isn't hitting it. It's kind of dry, but there's a few hidden gems out there, but it's getting tougher and tougher to find good music. But you also have to look kind of hard, which takes time. But anyway, yeah, I'll get to my dig. First up, I've always wanted a copy of this. I never had it, and I know it's just part of this dig. Resulted in two very, very 80s pop sort of music, which I'm okay with, really. First off is Huey Lewis in the News, Sports. Really excited about this one. This is really dirty, and all the records I bought are very dirty. I haven't given them baths yet, except for the next one I'm about to show you. But you can't really, I mean, Huey Lewis, just great solid hooks and songwriting that you can't really deny it. I mean, it's fun stuff, and that's why I bought it. Next up was one that was in my original collection, which some of you may or may not know, or you've probably heard it and are getting tired of hearing it, but I had a pretty sizable collection, about 250 albums, and I was unemployed for 2 years, and I had to sell some of my records, and I'm trying to get my collection back up. I kept a lot of the stuff that's very important to me, but a lot of it was just kind of sell it to keep a roof over my head. But this was one of the first ones to go because I knew I could, I knew it'd be a quick buck or two. 1984 by Van Halen. I'm super excited. It wasn't bath day for the records, but I washed this one up and have played it pretty consistently because I think with Van Halen, before this album came out, I mean, we all knew they were good and there was a lot of talent there, but I think this one really just kind of said, it kind of broke them into the mainstream a lot. It kind of forcibly pushed them in there, and I think that's what they wanted. And I mean, there's just some great hooks, and the songs are really smooth. A lot of the transitions are really great, and I just like the way it flows. So I'm really glad to have that back. And next up, I had a limited budget, and I knew I could only come away with 6 records, and I had this next one I'm going to show you and another one. The other one was a Close Encounters of the Third Kind original soundtrack, and this one I picked up, and I thought, I don't know, it's hard to make a choice. And I was at my sister's shop, and she has a record player there, so I said, I'm going to put this on and see if I want it. And it's Billy Preston, Everybody Loves Some Kind of Music. I put it on, dropped the needle, and I knew within like 5 seconds that I was going to take this home. I'm really anxious to give this one a bath and a good cleaning and put it on, because what I heard sounded really, really, really good. A lot of good stuff going on that I'm really looking forward to getting into. And that's, in the future. Can't wait. Now these next 3 are all the same. I mean, they're the same. I call them an artist. There's a lot of backstory. When I was a kid, my dad had my dad had a pretty extensive record collection. Any LP or 45 sold on the Motown label he had, and a lot of it, I mean, it was all a pristine shape. He took super good care of the records, and I learned the very hard way not to mess with Dad's records when I was younger, because there was a very heavy price to pay if you did. And after I learned that lesson, it was, kind of an honor, to be able to sit and hang out with my dad a lot, which didn't really happen that often. But when we did, it was usually, listening to music or records. And, when I was growing up in the 80s, there was a very, Bill Cosby was very, very prominent. I mean, the Cosby Show is still one of my favorite shows. You can't replace it, really. But Dad had every Bill Cosby album on vinyl, on cassette, anything Bill Cosby. Even if he already had a copy of it, he would get another one if he saw it out. A few years back, my sister and I actually took my dad as a Father's Day present to see Bill Cosby up at Butler University in Indianapolis, and I know it's not a concert, a rock and roll show, but it immediately made its way to my top 5 shows of all time. I mean, it was just, he's a legend, and he's so good at what he does, and the fact that he's still doing it and still coming up with new material instead of like going on his old shtick really speaks volumes for the caliber of comedian he is. But anyway, long story short, when I saw these, I instantly thought of growing up with my dad and listening to all of these records, and it was just a good time. It was family time together, time with my dad. this one, Why Is There Air, which I remember hearing, but I don't remember a lot of the stuff that's on it, so I'm looking forward to cleaning it up and getting it listened to. And then we've got Wonderfulness, which some of these I do remember, and I've heard other places, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. And then I've seen Michael Ratcliffe post this before, and I was kind of stoked about seeing this. So there's a lot of stuff on here that I've heard of, and it's just I don't know, it brings a lot of childhood back. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I have some records, that my dad gave me, and some records that that remind me of my dad. And the worst part about my dad's record collection is that he had to put it in the storage when he moved away, and the storage unit caught on fire, and he lost everything. And I mean, it was, I think I remember crying when I heard about it, because it was like, there was like that huge chunk of my life was taken away. And he was very upset, because I mean, he took extraordinary care of his records. And but I think the hidden story is there that he passed that along to me, and I want to pass that along to my kids. I want my kids to be able to enjoy music the way I did with my dad. So I feel that's kind of my duty here in the house, is to help share music with my children. And I think that's really the whole goal of, that's one of my goals in life, is to make sure my children, have some positive memories of me, and hopefully it's revolving around music. Anyway, that's why I was really kind of glad to send something off to Hussa, so that way he can share it with his kids, which I know he already does, but, there's just an idea of, letting your kids come back and listen to records with you, and they love it. My kids love it. You can tell. I mean, it's just, there's a real bonding moment that takes place that you can't replace with anything. So I actually sent out another piece of VCLT to someone, and it's along the same premise, which I mentioned in the letter I wrote to her. So hopefully she gets it. She's supposed to be cutting a video soon. As soon as she gets home to open it, because she is away on business. So, but anyway, I think that's about it, really. I don't really have much else to say. Just kind of tired. But thanks again for watching. Thanks to my subscribers. I don't know how many I have. I think like 7, 8. But small beginnings, right? Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I'll try to come up with some more stuff to talk about next video. But until then, have a good night, VC. Take care.